Hey everybody, it's Tom Foster on the World of Marketing, and I've got a good friend, a new friend, Joe Rutello of Intaker. Intaker is a new partner of ours that has just been kicking butt for our clients that does chat, and we're going to get into it, and not chat in the way that we've known it for years and years, but chat in a totally different way. Joe, thank you so much. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on the World of Marketing.
Tom, it is such a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you, brother. I know we met in November last year, and since then it's been kind of a rocket ride getting to know more of the Foster family and the work that you guys do. And so appreciate you having me on. Excited to see wherever this conversation takes us. Let's jump in.
We never know where this is going to go in the world of marketing. I am woefully unprepared in most cases. Because I just kind of like to riff and see, because I want to get to know you, and that's really what it is, But let's talk about it. So I said, hey, let's get started. You showed me some green juice. What's going on with the green juice? What is that?
Man. Yeah, so for people who can't see this, because you might be listening on audio,
he's holding up a jar of green juice.
I got some green juice, and it's very it's got that like radioactive green color to it because I just pressed it, and it's celery juice. So you might know there's like a cult of people who are all about celery juice. I'm not really deep into it, but I'll tell you what, it tastes good. It makes me feel good, and I've been able to solve a few problems that I've been dealing with pretty much my whole life by adding a little bit of juice. It's interesting. I can tell you more about it. I do. I got a juicer. It's a mid-range juicer. Omega is the brand. It's good. I have a good friend whose name is Johnny Juicer. He's one of the biggest evangelists for juice. But he got me into it, and it's just become an important part of my diet, my routine. It's a nice little meditation. I usually make it the night before. I will, kind of put some music on, or maybe a podcast, maybe your podcast, Tom, last night, and just kind of make a little bit of juice, and then it might last me a day or two. And I know celery is maybe the most popular one. It's easy. It goes down, without too much of a protest. And you could get wild and crazy with your juices, but I like to keep
I'm a juicer. I like to make juices.
You're a juicer.
I've been juicing for years. I'm a lot older than you, Joe. So
my God.
I can't remember the name of my damn juice. I got the high-end juice thing. And I forget the name of it. That's the other problem when you get to be my age, is that you forget things.
No way. All right. Anyway, so you're part of the cult too.
Yeah, I'm part of the cult. But I'm drinking coffee. That's the juice I'm drinking right now for our podcast.
Bean juice. I like it.
Well, that's a good way to get started. But listen, so Intaker. So first of all, what does Intaker? We work with you guys, but I want you to tell the audience, what does Intaker do? I want to give the words.
Thank you. So Intaker is a conversion tool for your website that, above all, adds empathy to the experience. Empathy comes in many forms. Probably the biggest way we've been able to add empathy is with adding video into chat. And so just to give you an example, people might be familiar with, website chat, a little box that will, pop up, a great way to capture leads for all those people who are not necessarily going to call you for your law firm. But what we've been able to do is take what was at one time a pretty standard, I'll say, chat box, chat experience, and been able to personalize it. And, video is a great way for an attorney to give a 10 or 15 second welcome into every online visitor who comes in, and let them know, hey, if you have any questions, if there's any way we can help you, whether you're looking for questions about an accident or an injury, assuming you're a PI lawyer. Yeah, you can give them a call to action. And so I was listening to some of the past episodes, and I know you've talked with other chat providers here, and I think there are some really important points that were hit on in those earlier episodes. Chat brings you more of what you're already getting. If you're getting good traffic, it's going to bring you good leads. If you're having bad traffic, it's maybe going to bring you not so great leads.
Right.
But no matter what, there's always going to be those people who are just a little bit harder to get a hold of. And that's because, maybe people today have a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not impatience, but attention spans are shorter, and you have to do more to reach them, right? Like form and fill, if people are still using that on their website because they're not using chat, you would not be shocked, but many of those listening would be shocked at how many people would never even consider filling that out, just because
Right.
it's older, it's outdated. So using some kind of chat is better than any form and fill. But what we've been able to do is, like you said, personalize it to both the personality, show the authentic voice of usually the managing partner of the firm in a little 10 or 15-second video that acts as like a hook. So if you guys listening know anything about, like a hook video is something to get people to take action, to engage, to respond. And so when that hook comes from you as the attorney, and just a really simple 10-second welcome, it's a great way to inspire more people to come into the chat who otherwise may have been on the fence, or maybe I'll do this later, or I'm doing a couple things right now. You have that like 2 seconds to really make an impression. And that's what we try to do with our product. So, we're automated.
That's it. Make an impression. You know
Yes.
what? When you're sitting there talking, I'm going to do this myself for my website. We got to get Intaker on FWM. Why the hell have we haven't done that yet?
We can do that today.
We got to do that today. I got to talk to Molly. I'm going to get
That's
on
cool.
the blower with Molly as soon as we're done here to get this done, because I got to get that done, because it sets the tone.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. And I was just on Intaker moments before I got the podcast started. You're right there. You're right there selling, you're right there in the chat bot, right there selling and you're either, it works for you both ways, because people are going to come, they're either going to like you or they're not going to like you. And that's going to work out, because you're not going to, right?
Yes.
Because you don't want to talk to people that you're not going to want to work with anyway. And so it serves both purposes. It gets you leads, and it also gets people out of your way that you don't want to talk to anyway. So I think it's a great thing. I've talked to like the people that work with me in my company, that work with my clients, that work with you guys, they love Intaker, man. They're all about getting it on the websites and everything. So you guys are just doing a fantastic job.
And to comment on that, Tom, I work with a lot of different agencies, and not all agencies are created equal. But even if the agency, that I work with is good, there's something to be said about the clients who come in. And I think, from what I've been able to see, there's kind of a culture, and I don't know if that culture comes from really pre-screening and making sure that you are signing up the right clients, or if that's something that happens later, where when you get the clients, then you go through kind of an education journey to get them thinking about these things. But I can tell you that those clients who come from the Foster family to Intaker have been some of the easiest to work with, most coachable. And, I'm really, those are the things that I look for, because there's a couple other groups, whether those are legal masterminds or other marketing agencies, but it is kind of a rare breed to have a kind of pre-screened group of people who just get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I'd like to find out, maybe on this conversation, is that something that you do in your sales process, filtering out the right types of law firms? And I know you work with
we're very keyed in on trying to find our perfect client. We only want to work with people that we want to work with, that want to do the right thing. And we work with a certain kind of people, and you gotta fit the mold to be a FWM client, if you will.
And also a shout out to Molly, because without Molly, I don't know if you or me would be sitting here together, Tom. We met at Great Legal Marketing for those people
Yeah.
who, hey, by the way, if you are listening to this, if you haven't been to Great Legal Marketing and you are a lawyer and you are looking for a place to find a community, to find a resource, a mastermind that can really help. It's been, I only went one time. That's where we met. But I was really impressed with the kind of culture that they have there as well.
Great Legal Marketing, Charlie Mann, Ben Glass. I've been involved in Great Legal Marketing for 20 years now.
Is that how long they've been around?
We've been doing this for a long time, Joe. And it's a great community. Ben and I started that thing 20 years ago.
Milestone.
And it's been fantastic. And he's just a tremendous community, fantastic group of lawyers. And Charlie Mann, runs that fantastically. It's going to be in Nashville this year.
Yes.
And so I'll see you there.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a party. We're going to bring a few heads. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. So what makes you guys different in terms of chat? What makes you different?
I can answer that in a couple of ways, but if I had to just pick one word, well, there's really two words. I'm sorry, I can't pick one word.
Yeah, there's two. You can have as many words as you want.
We going into the ABA Tech Show this year, we really thought about, what is a way, what is a phrase, what is kind of that, what is something that encapsulates our message that is memorable, that will help communicate, the kind of value that we aim to deliver every day. We decided that empathy automated. Empathy automated.
Empathy automated. That's great. That's a great tagline.
Thanks.
Empathy is critical too.
Yes. It has been one of those. I can actually talk about the journey of how that came to be, because empathy has always been part of the product in some way, but it was actually early pandemic time when everything was upside down and people were not able to, sit down for a consultation with the client the way that they used to. And the light went off, but hold on. All right, sorry. When we
I can still see you.
Yeah, I can. I don't even know how to turn this light back on. Sorry to interrupt the story time. It was early in the pandemic, and what happened was we knew that there was a big gap in the experience and the human connection for many people when they were reaching out, trying to find a lawyer, trying to get them to help. And it was out of kind of necessity and out of seeing that, there's a situation here that technology can fill a gap, and we can add video to an experience that used to be purely text-based. So when we started Intaker, we've not always been like a video-driven AI chat. That's not how it was. And we've always been automated because we've just seen kind of the results, the numbers, and I'll get to that in a bit. But what we decided was, hey, we can, and it was a little bit clunky in the beginning, but we decided, hey, we can add like a video feature as a way for people who are not going to get FaceTime with their attorneys right now. And we don't know how long this is going to be. So by adding that, it was a chance for attorneys to kind of give that warm welcome to people who might be on their website, might be looking for help. And these are generally people that were already using chat, that knew the benefit, but thought to themselves, hey, how can we make this work even better? And the video, we had like a few who, were really early adopters, big, to help us actually figure out, what is like the right kind of message to send, because we didn't really know in the beginning. So we worked with some of our clients who came up with like great messages of their own, and we were able to see over time, hey, what makes for a great introduction to a law firm when someone comes in. And so really the product, I cannot talk about it without giving credit to those early clients. Brian Barnhill was the first. He is a family lawyer in Texas. I don't know exactly where in Texas, but he was one of those like really inspirational people, because we had a brand new feature and we knew how to use it, but we didn't know how to create a message that could sell necessarily. And it was in those early days working with our clients, these entrepreneurial lawyers and attorneys, they helped us figure that out. And we've been able to take that and apply it to many, many more clients. Many in the Foster family too are coming on board using video, and it's great to see.
Have you been in since the beginning, Joe?
I came in 1 year in. So the company started with an idea. I'm not the founder, but I'll tell you the story of the founder.
Tell the story of the founder.
Yeah. So Puya is the main guy. There's two. Irfan.
I met him. Did I meet him? He was at GLM, right?
Yeah. Oh, he was at GLM. He was really happy to be there because he'd been waiting. I think he pitched Integrator to Ben Glass, like one of the very first 30 people he reached out to, because he knew that Ben was an influencer. And it took a little while, but eventually at GLM, Puya made the connection, and now Ben is part of the Intaker family too. So that I'm really happy about. But just to rewind, Intaker started as an idea. When Puya was in a co-working space, working on a separate product, separate company, also, AI based, a little bit of a different story with that. But what he realized was he had a neighbor next door. And that neighbor was an attorney, with a startup law firm. And he was on the phone all day, talking to either clients or prospects, but spent a lot of time just trying to find out and really qualify people who were not even clients, right? And he spent disproportionate amount of his day yelling on the phone, trying to figure basic information out from people and disturbing Puya next door, who couldn't really get any work done. So he actually, it started with a simple, type form that he was able to make hey, it sounds like you're having this problem, I thought maybe I could do something to help you fix it. They were friends too in the co-working space. And so what started there, the conversation pretty much turned into, hey, this is really good. And if you made this into a product, I know a bunch of lawyers that would pay a couple $100 a month just to use it. And that was legit where the idea started. We didn't know anything about legal. We didn't know anything. It's not like we came into this with perfect information. We kind of stumbled into it, but by learning quickly and by, paying attention to what people want, what they need, our clients, our ideal clients, and just trying to make sure that what we offer matches whatever pain they're going through to fix it. That's been how we've been able to grow. And it started as an idea in 2018, November. We had our first clients live 6 months later in, I think it was March of 2019. And then I came on board a year later in 2020. So Puya sold about the first 100 or so accounts all by himself, as the CEO, as the product guy, as the founder, as the one-man sales team. And then I came on board.
How did he find you?
Funny story. Same co-working space, actually, where all this happened. I had moved to California not long before, and I switched careers, switched industries. I'd been in education, living in New York. That's where I grew up. That's my whole life is there before I moved here in 2019. And I knew I wanted to transition into sales. And so I found an opportunity selling solar. And you might wonder, okay, what does that mean? That means knocking on doors in the San Fernando Valley, just outside of Los Angeles, where they get hit up a lot. And it was a really interesting experience for me to, no sales experience, just, teaching, education, and, private teaching. So I would have to kind of hustle my own clients sometimes, but I knew that sales was a skill set that I needed, that I wanted, that I didn't have yet. So knocking doors in solar in California was a great introduction to the grit that is required to be, a full-time salesperson. And I learned a lot. I met some great people.
congratulations to you. Let me just say, it takes a lot to say, I wanted to be a sales guy, because, you know, sales guys are usually just born, and, you know, and it ain't easy. Being a sales guy is hard. That's hard work.
Yes.
And so good job to you.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, I could talk about those inspirations, why I decided that, but that's a bit of a longer conversation. I'll get back to the story. So I was working for this solar company, and long story short, I won't get into the details. The culture of the company was not aligned with my own personal values. And I came to realize that after about 2 months. I wasn't there very long, and I had to make a decision to step out of that company. And on my last day, I went to my boss at the time and, you know, told her, hey, this isn't working out. You know, you're a great person, but we're not aligned, and this is goodbye. And she was so sad. And she tried to get me to, you know, reconsider and stick around. And she walked me to the elevator, just trying to, you know, get me to reconsider. And I told her, I'm so sorry, you know, I can't, but it's been great meeting you and getting to work with you as a person. And, you know, good luck. So we're waving, she's waving, and I'm waving, and the doors are closing, and it's this dramatic scene. And it's me and one other guy in the elevator. And the doors close, and I let out this huge sigh, like, I just quit my job today. I just turn to him and I tell him that, and he looks at me like, huh? Really? And I was so excited. I didn't care who this guy was. I just wanted to tell someone. And he's like, yeah, do you want to take a walk? We're right by the Westfield Century City Mall in Los Angeles, right in like the heart of the city. And we walked around for almost an hour just talking, and, you know, talking about, you know, my life, my background, his, you know, project, his company. And he told me, you know, hey, I need an AE, I need an account executive, and we're growing quick, and you know, it's a good opportunity. It's in legal tech. So if you're interested, you know, give me a call. And it took me a little while because I'd still been involved in like a solar project with another friend of mine who had also stepped out of that company. So we're trying to hustle our own clients for a bit. And it took me about a month to call him back. I'm really happy that he waited around because my life changed that day. And I joined the Intaker family. It was at that point, March 3rd of 2020. And, you know, went to the office, got 2 weeks of training, and then I got sent home for 8 months because of, you know, the pandemic.
Right. That is a great story. That is a great origin story. I love it.
I'm really happy that I took a risk on a wacky solar job. And, you know, if there's anyone listening who's ever done that, knocking doors, I think is a great way to learn like sales experience. I'll tell you another thing.
Well, it's about taking risk. I mean, like, you got to take risks in order to, you got to turn over rocks. You got to like take risks. You got to look out there and see what's out there in order to find, you know, what is meant for you. If you don't go out there and look, and if you don't go out there and try to find stuff, it's not just going to fall in your lap. It just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for you, Joe. Good job.
Oh, thanks, Tom. And it's kind of funny to think about, you know, just a few years ago, I was teaching in New York, and I liked the...
So your background, you were teaching?
Yeah. I used to teach math at a state college.
My wife and daughter are both teachers. So
really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I just came from an award ceremony. My daughter just graduated 8th grade and got tons of awards. She got the top award of the school. So
that's awesome.
I'm like crying. So I had to like had some Kleenex. I had to clean up for the podcast because I was crying.
Congrats to her. And well, and just not to get too off topic, but, you know, is she more of a math nerd, a science nerd, an art nerd?
She's English,
okay,
artistic,
very cool.
Singer. She's just a beautiful person, but not like a science more artistic English. But you're a math teacher?
Yeah, it was math and science. And, I used to also not teach in the classroom.
Thank you for that. Thank you for doing that.
Oh,
but that's interesting that you would go from teaching math and English, math and science to say, hey, I want to be a sales guy. I'm going to move to California and sell solar. That is the craziest story I've heard in a long time, and pretty damn brave. That is pretty damn brave.
Thanks, Tom. Wow, I've never had a chance to tell this on a format like this. So thank you for giving me a chance.
Well, yeah, I mean, I am blown away. I mean, like my feelings for you have just grown. I mean, like, wow. I mean, like, what a guy. Good for you. Good job. That takes balls. That takes balls, everybody, to do that. How old were you when you did that?
I was 29 years old.
Oh my God.
So
now, was everybody telling you, no, you're insane? Or were they pushing you? What about your family? Was your family, supportive, or what?
They were very supportive, and there's a detail I haven't told you yet, and that was the real impetus for me, coming out to California and doing that was I needed a change in my life, and I decided I'm going to go back to school myself. I'd helped, at that point, a couple hundred kids get into college because after teaching, I got into test prep, ACT, SAT prep. And from there, I was a great experience getting to, that any sales experience that I had before that was working with parents and kids and families and helping them kind of mastermind these ways. How do I get my kid into, John Hopkins or one of these major schools. And it was intense. I learned a lot there. But I decided I need to go back to school myself because I had never finished a graduate degree. So I went back for my MBA. I just finished it last week. You actually catch me. This is day 6 of having not been in school for the past 3 years. That was the reason why I moved. And, the sales thing was, to be honest with you, and I wonder if I'll ever look back and regret saying this, but, coming to grad school was not like the main reason why I, moved to California. It was definitely a tool to get me here really quick. And so I did it in just a couple of months. I made the decision, jumped through all the hoops. And then before I knew it, I was here, I was living here. And I kind of had to reorient my whole life around it. But I knew that what I needed, what I wanted, I wasn't going to get out of a classroom setting. And that what I wanted was, some real world experience in business, because in education, if anyone's listening to this has ever taught or anything, you probably know that being in education is it's like a bubble, and things don't work in the real world the way they do inside that bubble. And that was a source of frustration for me. And that's why, education is still, so important to me. And, my life trajectory, I'm sure I'll cross paths with that again someday, but it was knowing that, hey, it doesn't have to be one industry. It could be anything. It could be solar. It could be legal tech, right? Whatever the industry is, there's a way to learn what people need, add value, and grow and win, and that's kind of why I knew that the format could be anything. It doesn't matter the industry. What matters is building those relationships, those connections, and really finding out, what is it that people need, what's their pain, how to relieve it. And just to tie this whole thing back together, that's the thing that has been the most rewarding part of Intaker so far, is helping other, law firms kind of bridge that gap when they are, and this is probably more in your wheelhouse than mine, but it's become an area of study, of interest, of passion for me, is, learning about marketing in general and then applying that to a very specific niche. And for legal, I heard, Puya's told this before, and I believe Alex Hambrick also mentioned it on your interview with him a while back, was, the number of people who need a lawyer but don't know it, right, is lawyers out there might be amazed if they knew. And so the whole function of legal marketing, isn't to, look like, oh, you're just trying to, hustle clients, or it's, unethical. And I didn't come into this industry knowing those were some of the assumptions made by like, specific bar associations or whatever. But legal is like any other industry, right? People have to know about you. They have to trust you quickly, and they have to believe that you can help them. And if those boxes are checked, then everything else becomes a whole lot easier. And, that's why this product, this whole thing that we've been able to do with Intaker Chat is really been able to just fast track that trust building process, give people an easy way to raise their hand and say, hey, I have a question, or I might need some help. And then, from there, the team, the law firm, the attorneys, the intake staff, can take the ball and run with it. But it's about creating that moment where someone now says, yes, I want to speak to you. I do have a question. You do seem like someone that can help me. And how do we take that and create that experience, right? And be able to replicate that for many, many different kinds of law firms. And, eventually other industries, but we're just really niched and very focused, laser focused on legal right now, because the world of opportunity is huge. You know this.
Yeah. Yes. And they need lots of help. I mean, and the thing, you just nailed it. Everybody needs a lawyer at some point, or at many points in their life, for many different things. Lawyers are a critical part of our society in doing different things, a variety of different things. And marketing is something that they are not taught. And, I've been doing marketing for my whole life, 35 years been doing marketing. And, it's not new to me. It is the messaging, but the technology, the new kinds of technology that comes out on how to be able to market yourself. And that's what I really like about what Intaker does, is that they have combined what you guys have done, is that you've taken and you've just added like these little cool snippets of technology on top of what was already there, and made it better and better and better for the lawyers, and made it easier. And another element, which is the element of you, which is you've made it so much easier to understand for them. I've gotten lots of feedback from our clients about how easy it is to work with you, Joe, about, cool. Talking to you and just what a great experience that has been. And, lawyers, they're not the easiest to work with. I say
some of them.
Yeah, I say it all the time. They know. But you make it easy to work with them. So great job on that. And, I'm just delighted that we're partners. I'm delighted that, you found a home, and it's just, I love the serendipitous story of how you found it there. I got to tell you a little, my daughter lives in California. My oldest daughter, I have 5 kids. My oldest daughter, who is your age, 30, she's in San Diego now. They just bought a place in San Diego. I'm not too happy about her being in San Diego. Everybody knows. I'm proud of her I'm proud of her being out there, but I miss her to death. I'm sure. Is your family in New York still?
Yeah, my whole family is back east, so I feel you.
I'm sure they're like, we're very proud of Joe, but we miss him dearly. And that's that's kind of where I am too. But great job, you going out there and making your bones, and then landing this great gig with this great company. It's just doing a fantastic job. Because it just, We build great websites for our clients. We help get traffic and leads, but you're the ones that help convert that traffic and convert those leads to get to our clients, to get their cases and clients. And so it's a great partnership. It's a great synergy, and we enjoy working with you guys very much.
It is mutual, Tom. One thing that you mentioned that, if anyone's listening to this who, is not yet part of the Foster family, you just hit on something really important, which is when is a tool like Intaker right for me, right? Because I work with a lot of people, some of whom might join us when they're just starting their law firm, right? And if someone is not educated about how, online marketing works, and legal marketing specifically, they might be looking for something to solve all their problems at once, right? And so there's a piece of the puzzle where you mentioned before that there's an order of things. A company like Foster helps drive traffic and helps generate leads. And then a tool like Intaker will come and be able to amplify, the kind of results that you're getting. And then, again, use what we do to kind of create that great first experience, get more people to eventually say yes. But without a company like Foster that is doing the legwork of creating a winning client experience on the website, and then getting the right people to that website. And I know from, past conversations that a lot of people might be investing a lot in PPC, right? But where you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but, where Foster really stands out is you don't need to spend, $10,000 a month on your PPC to get great results. What you need is a system that can leverage essentially the architecture of the internet and how people, human behavior, know how they search, what they search, and just be able to put
organic search.
Yes.
Organic search. Exactly right.
Totally. And so
not
those types of
clients,
those types of clients who have a website, who are getting traffic, that know that, organic is essentially where it's at. I can tell you right now, those are the best people for us to work with, because it is, they get it, they understand how the whole game works. And, for those who are not yet doing that, there might be firms out there relying too much on PPC to, drive their business, or maybe they don't have good metrics to see, hey, what's coming in through an organic channel versus a PPC channel, right? That's another issue that I think I've heard you talk about, where, whatever chat tool you're going to use, whether that's Intaker or something else, make sure that the entire stack of, your website, your chat, all the tools that you're using are able to help you determine this kind of information. So you know exactly if you paid for a lead, if you paid for a click that led to them becoming later a client, you can go back to the beginning and track that. If instead it came from an organic search, or even, I believe you call it like local search, like, Google My Business is a great tool that we've been able to also leverage, and been able to integrate chat directly to someone's Google My Business profile. And for those firms who are still working on getting their rankings up in their SEO for their website content, but they might be working on that, but at the same time, they have a Google My Business that is getting views and clicks, etc. Being able to add a conversion tool like Intaker to that has been a game changer. I've seen clients gone through freaking nightmares with their website, and just all of a sudden the website is either down, or the person who was working on it quit, and now they are screwed. But they can still use a tool like us on their Google My Business, and they still are getting leads. And so it's not like, the world ends if, you're working with a, website vendor who screwed you, and now you got to go talk to Tom and Foster because they're in a position to help.
We're not going to screw you.
No.
For sure. But you're right. There's a balance, and and when I first got in this game, it was all about organic, and you know, everything that has been introduced since then, from pay-per-click to local to LSAs, local service ads, you know, and whatever, social media, whatever else is coming down the pike. You know, you need to be lawyers, any business, but you know, we're talking about lawyers. That's our niche. You guys need to be prepared to be in all of these channels, not just one. You cannot be, one is none. And you have to be able to, you have to have exposure in all of them. And organic, still to this day, is the best. It's still the best. Pay-per-click is, look, we got a lot of clients that are very successful on pay-per-click. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just very expensive. And you know, great, do your pay-per-click campaigns, but make sure that your organic is up to snuff. Organic is making sure that you're adding good content to your website on a very regular basis. That takes time to build up. You know, if you're brand new getting started, it's going to take some time to get going, but you got to get going. And, you know, you might think, well, I can never compete with the big guys. That's not true. Google will reward you. If you start adding content to your website, Google rewards you.
Yes.
You just got to do it. And, you know, people will do long tail search terms, meaning they will type in just like you do. Like when we are looking for information, very detailed information, and generally those are the best cases, the best clients are putting detailed questions out on Google. And that's where they find the best lawyers. The best lawyers answer complicated questions. I don't care what practice you're doing. And then having a great chat right there, a great intake piece right there with video of you, that, you know, that prospect is either going to love you or hate you right then. So right then, that is a great conversion. That is a great marketing partnership methodology to bring you, lawyer, the cases and clients that you want and deserve. So here we are, you know, Joe and I working on these technologies. I've been doing it for a long time. You guys have been doing it for the last couple of years. Fantastic job. And we're so happy to be partners with you. And Joe, I appreciate, you know, so appreciate your time today and getting to know you a little better. I love your story. I did not know that about you. And I'm so proud. Great job.
Thank you, Tom. That means a lot, especially, you know, coming from someone like you. I will tell you this, I feel like I'm still new in this legal marketing space, but I've made, you know, a few like really great friendships with a few people who are leaders.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
They're leaders in the space, and there is a culture here. And there's a culture of camaraderie, and you know, it's not everyone, but you're certainly part of that, and I want to respect and honor that. One last thing before we go, I just want to tell people kind of what's coming up next, because
tell us what's next.
Well, specifically for maybe the audience here and for you, Tom, and for the Foster family, is we're looking to really go deeper into integrate with DSS. So we just released our native integration with the platform. And, you know, we've been having some people use like a Zapier before that. Don't need to get into the technicals, but we have a native integration in place. And this is something I just want to let people know about, broadcast to the world, and also be able to, you know, let people know if you find this, if you're part of the Intaker family and you're looking for, you know, a great service to help with your the entire brain of your marketing. Because what DSS is, if people don't know, I've gotten to know it a little bit. It's more than a CRM. It's more than just a way to track, you know, your marketing data. But it is like an all-in-one shop, and it also includes your website, your content. And so for us, being able to more closely integrate with a tool like DSS, I think is just going to help people who are using both services get a ton more value. And also, as we both grow and as DSS grows, and I know that you have a lot coming up in terms of making this baby, run even more, more clients and more functionalities, and just building out the product. Excited to see how we can just make this an even better integration experience, because that is the one thing I didn't mention here is Intaker, we're even more powerful when you have a system that already works, right? And that someone can just come in and just add a ton more fuel to that system by getting better qualified leads that are essentially pre-sold if they've already seen you and gone through that experience, and then let your other tools like DSS, et cetera, drive those conversions of leads into clients. And so that's what's coming up next. Excited for a big future together, Tom.
That is fantastic news. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, Joe. Well, thank you for your time today, my friend. I look forward to seeing you in Nashville here in the fall. I think September.
We're going to party.
Is that what it is? September, October?
October 28th, 29th. October. Yeah. If you guys listening have not, ever been to Great Legal Marketing, this is going to be in probably even more exciting than usual one. It's a new venue. It's going to be in Nashville the last weekend, just a few days before Halloween. So, I guess leave the kids at home, come party, and we're going to have fun. We'll see you there. All right, Joe, thanks so much. Stick around just for a minute. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. It's Tom Foster and Joe Rutello at Intaker. Hey, if you haven't checked out Integrator, you got to check it out. It's the place to be. So go Integrator.com. That's where it is. Integrates with DSS. And if you don't know what DSS is, you got to know. Go to FWM Check it out. We do law firm websites. We do services for law firms. We do content. We do SEO. We do pay-per-click. We build your website. We'll do it all for you. We've been doing it for 25 years. We know what we're doing. Joe, thank you so much for your time today, brother. And everybody, have yourself a wonderful day. Appreciate you, Tom.